All right, let's talk about something we've all felt. You know that jolt of anxiety when you check your bank account? Or how you get instantly defensive in a super simple conversation about spending? Well, today, we're gonna dig into why our brains are actually hardwired to treat money less like a tool and a lot more like a physical threat.
So, here's the central puzzle, right? We all chase after money because we think it'll bring us security and freedom. That's the goal. But then, the second someone brings up our budget or asks about a big purchase, we feel our pulse quicken and our walls go straight up. Why is that? What is going on there? To really get to the bottom of this, we have to start by looking at what I like to call the wealth paradox. It's this really fascinating, kind of strange gap between what we think wealth is and how we actually experience it. I mean, on one hand, you've got the dream. This is the story we tell ourselves, right? Money means security, it means freedom, it means opportunity. But then there's the reality. And for so many of us, the day-to-day business of money is just filled with stress, a ton of anxiety, and yeah, even conflict with people we love. So where's the disconnect?
So here's the bottom line. We are consciously pursuing financial stability because we want to feel safe. But our subconscious brain, it often hears conversations about our money as if it's literally under attack. And the reason for that knee-jerk reaction, well, it's buried deep in our biology. So where on earth does this defensiveness come from? Well, the answer isn't in a finance textbook. Nope. It's deep inside our own heads, in a part of our brain that's basically our original, built-in threat detector. Okay, so deep inside your brain, there's this tiny almond-shaped thing called the amygdala. You can just think of it as your brain's primitive alarm system. Its one job, 24/7, is to scan everything around you for anything, and I mean anything, that could possibly threaten your survival. And this thing is incredibly fast. It's totally automatic. First, it senses something that might be a threat. Second, it yanks the alarm cord. And third, it floods your body with hormones like cortisol and adrenaline to get you ready to either fight or run for your life. It doesn't ask permission from your logical brain, it just reacts. But here's the catch. With the amygdala in our modern world, it's like a super sensitive home security system. It's designed to go off at the slightest hint of trouble, which is great. But it's really, really bad at telling the difference between a real threat, like a burglar, and a false alarm, like a raccoon just knocking over the trash cans outside. So, we have this twitchy little alarm bell in our brain. What in the world does that have to do with our bank accounts? Well, this brings us to the most important connection of all, the idea that for our brains, wealth has become a part of our identity.
Okay, so let's walk through this together, step by step. On the most basic level, your brain's number one job, driven by that amygdala, is to keep your body physically safe. Don't get eaten by a saber-toothed tiger, don't fall off a cliff, simple physical survival.
But see, for our ancient ancestors, survival was never just about the physical stuff. It was deeply social. Getting kicked out of the tribe, that was pretty much a death sentence. So the brain adapted. That exact same threat detection system learned to protect not just your physical body, but also your social self, your reputation, your status, your place in the group. And this is the huge leap into our modern lives. In our society today, what's one of the biggest signals of our status, our security, our place in the tribe? It's our money. Our brain, which is basically running on ancient software, has started to connect our wealth directly to that social self. And suddenly, our net worth feels a whole lot like our self-worth. And that leads to this really powerful and, honestly, game-changing idea. Get this. Challenges to our financial status are processed in this same primitive part of the brain that handles threats to our very survival. That means a casual comment about your spending isn't just a comment. To your amygdala, it can feel like a predator lurking in the grass. It feels like a direct threat to who you are. Okay, so fascinating neuroscience, right? But why does this actually matter in your everyday life? Let's talk about the real-world impact of having this ancient wiring running our modern financial lives. This neural defense of wealth is the invisible force behind so much stuff. It's what fuels that pit in your stomach when you open your banking app. It's why a simple chat about groceries can explode into a huge fight. It's what makes political debates about money so emotional, what causes the stress of scrolling through social media, and what's behind that deep, deep reluctance we have to talk openly about our salaries. Now, here's a really important point. Understanding this biological reflex, it's not an excuse. It's not a free pass to get defensive. It is, however, an explanation.
It's a whole new way of understanding why you feel these intense emotions when it comes to money.
And that kind of brings us to the final thought. The next time you feel that flash of anger, that wave of defensiveness coming up during a money talk, just for a second, you can pause. And maybe, just maybe, you can recognize it for what it is. Your ancient brain's security system just going into overdrive. So here's the question I want to leave you with. Knowing that your brain is always on guard, what conversations could you have different?